On this episode of the show, we'll examine how individuals and institutions can stay safe in an increasingly connected world, and what the future of digital security looks like. I'm joined on the show by Goodluck Chiwendu. Bright. He's a cybersecurity analyst. Goodluck, thank you for joining me on the show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yeah, now let's start. Now, what are the most common cybersecurity threats facing internet users today?
The most common cybersecurity threats is phishing, malware scams, ransomware, identity theft, but the most prominent of all is phishing, which is the use of links and malware mostly to steal user information and like to trick people. They mostly work with emotions because they target individuals mostly to steal their private information like passwords, address, credit cards, and all those ones.
Interesting. Now, how can individuals better protect their personal data and mobile devices and social media?
I think there's no safe way to protect devices, but the most common should be using strong password setting, or using two-factor authentication, which if we can see WhatsApp is now introducing a two-factor authentication. Most application, bank apps, they now use OTP. Those authentication processes, they help protect users better, because most apps, most software, most applications, they just run on passwords and user ID, which is an outdated means of identification. If we watch our banks now, they no longer just use passwords because they know your password could be guessed by a threat actor. So they use OTP, which is linked to your unique ID, your SIM card, which your mobile providers provide for you, like MTN, Airtel, and others. So I think the best and easiest way to protect from threat actors individually would be using strong password and OTP, two-factor authentication methods.
Yeah, but why do you think cyber attacks are becoming more frequent and more sophisticated in recent years?
Script kiddies. I would always say this. There are types of cybersecurity, like there are different and broad fields in cybersecurity. So the reason why cybersecurity threat is now more pronounced or enhanced compared to before is now it's more profitable, and these malware, these attacks can be generated AI. AI is doing good and is also doing hard. So the thing is, previously, the world as we know it, to carry out a cyber attack or phishing or cyber threat, anything, you need to know what you're doing. You need to be grounded in knowledge in malware generation and others. But now the script kiddies we have, these devices have already been created for them. So they could just copy the codes and inject it into people's devices and use, and it's very profitable now. So cyber attacks is...
When you say profitable, how profitable?
Scale. Do we rate cyber attacks by scale?
No, you said it's very profitable.
There's recently, this April 2026, they hacked Adobe through phishing. An employee, they sent a link staging as like HRO of the company, and the employee clicked the link. That was how Adobe's infrastructure was run down. The threat actor escalated his privilege. Now, let me give you how the internet as we know it works. The internet is just like our normal space with unique ID, IP address, which identifies each individual. So threat actors, what they do is they tend to copy the exact code of organizations or copy the exact websites or their emailing style to send out phishing links to employees mostly. And when these unknowing employees or employees who are not like, no matter how smart you are, when you see a phishing link, it might fool you because it looks exactly and it looks real. And now when they click these links, these threat actors will have access to their infrastructure, thereby escalating their privilege to admin function and now having access to their whole infrastructure. And that's how most of these hacking attacks come about. It's not like a threat actor is sitting in a dark room, covered in hoodie, hacking. No, most of the times it's just a small link. Once you click it and everything is gone. So threat actors, they don't just figure out company infrastructure.
Yeah.
They use links, ID generation. They could call the organization and maybe pose as one of their clients or one of their employee, and the HR who is unknowing would accept. And once they have access, they escalate their privilege. That's how most companies fall. That was what happened to Adobe a few weeks ago.
Do we say human error has a role to play in most cybersecurity breaches?
Human error has the greatest role. Like I've been explaining all this while.
Yeah.
They don't just get access to the company, or they don't just get access to your device. You grant them access. Most times they manipulate emotions. You could see a link now saying, oh, at the office they want to pay out extra, let's say they are giving out bonuses, and your HR has one time mentioned it to you that the company will give out bonus by the end of the year, and as an unknowing individual you would click the link for your bonus, not knowing that threat actor has already post that link to make it look like a real one. So most times individuals, they carry mistakes. Yeah, we all make mistakes. Even a very smart person, the most intelligent person in the room makes mistake. But I won't totally blame it on individual mistakes. But it plays a huge role. It is effective to some extent, but it doesn't play a huge role. The only effect it has is maybe individual practices or companies. There are companies that have policies that regulate user access, that also regulate or tell their employees to change passwords on maybe 2-month basis like that. So these laws now, they don't function in the larger world. They only function based on individual practices and company policies. So they play a minor role in protecting individuals and companies.
Now, what simple technology habits for you can significantly reduce the risk of being hacked? Because a lot of people have this issue. We talk about people who have their WhatsApp hacked, their Facebook hacked. And some Nigerians they open Facebook accounts according to the number of hacking they've had. Some people have up to 5 Facebook accounts because they hacked this one. They don't try to recover the password, they change, they get on and on. So what are those simple digital habits you think can significantly reduce the risk of being hacked?
I think when you say digital habits, I would say being careful of links.
Okay.
That's number one. And being careful of links would also make you know that you shouldn't be trusting, no matter who the person is. Your mom, your dad, your friend. Even you shouldn't be trusting of yourself, because
how can't you trust yourself?
It's a digital world now. You might copy a link from a website and say, oh, maybe in 2 days' time I would click this link to see what it entails. And threat actors, they do it all the time. They can change the repository of which the link is supposed to they do it all the time. So most especially links. Link is one of the deadliest things on the internet at the moment. We should be careful of every link, video link, picture link, anything, links. We should be very, very careful of how we click links. And
talking about cyber threats, we have the ones that affect large corporations. You were talking about that of Adobe and several other companies. How vulnerable are small businesses to cyber threats? I mean, not the large ones. We talk about our entrepreneurs, talk about small firms of 10, 20, 50 people and all that. How vulnerable do you think they are?
They are more vulnerable compared to larger corporations or larger companies, because we find that most smaller startup companies, they rarely have cybersecurity experts protecting their websites, protecting their applications, protecting their software. So they are more vulnerable because they tend to not see the use of cybersecurity, or they tend to feel like they don't have much to protect. Cybersecurity is not just protecting data. We protect our company hospital files. We protect our bank application. We protect our websites. Because once a threat actor has access to even the website, the web page of a company, automatically he already has access to devices in the company. Let's say a company of 20 remote workers who work from home. They don't go to companies, so threat actors do not know their name or where they come from to maybe carry out a phishing attack on them. Once a hacker, a threat actor who knows what he's doing, has access to the company's website, then escalate privilege. Maybe the company is an e-commerce company, escalate privilege to admin function. He could send out an email to those workers, those working in the company, that they should maybe be a remote call in the evening to discuss company policy. And once they click that link, he already has access, and all their devices, all their phones will be compromised. And do you know how significant that is? Let's say each company worker has a friend, or let's say they have 3,000 contacts on their devices, and he has access to 15 of them. That's access to up to more than 50,000 contacts. Continue sending those emails, continue sending pictures or corrupted files to them. He already has access to thousands of devices. So we will see that we can't mitigate threats. We can only try to reduce or contain it.
Interesting. There's a word you've used here from the beginning of the show. You talk about phishing. A lot of people who are listening to us today do not know what phishing is. What is phishing, and why has it remained one of the most successful cyber attack methods in the world today?
Okay, phishing is let me call it an event, or because it's a practice. It's something that is unique. Not everyone has the ability to carry it out. It's a situation where threat actors they copy or try to act like legitimate organizations or legitimate individuals to steal information from vulnerable users. This information can range from passwords, their NIN numbers, their BVN, but most importantly, their target is to steal information. Because once they have access to information, data is everything in our space today. Phishing attack is just a situation where people want to carry out an activity or a task that would enable them have access to individual identity information, passwords, and bank information, most especially. Sometimes.
Interesting. Now, when you talk about security, the government have been trying to do something to try to protect the people. Now, how can government balance surveillance for security with citizens' rights to privacy? This is very important, rights to privacy and all that. But how do you think the government can balance surveillance for security with citizens' rights to privacy?
I think they should be sincere. Because we find out that most organizations, they are tight-lipped about how they collect people data. Okay, let me give you an experience. I was discussing with my friend a few days ago. She said she was feeling nauseous and, I might be pregnant. I was like, good news, your husband will be so happy. And the next evening, she started seeing ads for diapers, baby clothes. So she was like, Chiwendu, you're into cybersecurity. Do you think that they are listening to me? Do you think that the government or agencies that sell these diapers, they are listening to our conversation? I was like, nah, probably the videos you watch have maybe given them that, the forms or surveys you might have filled might have alerted them or triggered them to know that, you might be expecting soon. So in this situation, government is a natural thing, is a normal thing for government to carry out surveillance with sophisticated tools, the listing calls, and it's probably legal to some extent. But the thing that where cybersecurity analysts should come in advising the government is that they should be more open and they should let individuals or organizations know how they collect their data. We can see from what happened in the US when they were trying to ban TikTok, that allegedly TikTok was collecting user information, user data, and selling it to third-party companies. So the government is aware of most of these things, just that they are tight-lipped about it. So,
now, why we have this conversation on radio, a lot of people are learning from what we are saying today, but there's still need, you understand, for a lot of people tell us that there's still need for cybersecurity education. How important is it, particularly for schools, not just primary and secondary schools, also universities and other institutions of learning? How important is cybersecurity education for schools and workplaces, you understand, in this modern day now?
We are in a digital era where
Yeah.
everyone, even from a toddler, has access to digital devices. So cybersecurity education is very important. I'll give an example again. There was a video I saw online. I think it was on Twitter. It was an awareness video. A woman was beaten. She was beaten, carrying out her daily activities, and her phone was unlocked. She kept it. Then her child was playing with the phone, and a message came in. These smart children that have access to their parents' devices, a message came in saying, "Oh, we require your email and passwords and some other things for us to give you some money." All those ads,
Yeah.
advertisements.
Yeah.
And the child asked his mommy, "Mommy, someone sent you a message. Should I reply to them?" It's a normal message that everybody can just reply to. And this child sent out his mom's email, sent out her password, and also sent out her full name.
Wow, that was risky.
Very risky. And the next morning, the mom discovered that her email, she was no longer receiving messages. Everyone's at. We need to teach our children attacks they might encounter even as children. There are other attacks except phishing. We have identity theft. We also have, I think, 2 other attacks that are under. You can do it orally. So our children need to be aware that cybersecurity is not just about protecting devices, digital devices. The cybersecurity also entails protecting our life, our private life, our personal life. Threat actors can hack our devices by just knowing our date of birth, by knowing our full name, by knowing our children's name. So cybersecurity education is very important in every field and in all levels of life.
Interesting. Now, what steps do you think should an organization take immediately after a data breach? What's your advice to such? The listener is asking.
The first step would be identifying what type of breach and containing it from spreading to other devices. There are different types of breaches. There are malware, there are worms. Okay, malware, viruses. You have to escalate it to the bodies or the organizations in charge of it. So the first step is identifying what type of threats, then containing it from spreading to.
Exploit trust in digital platforms and human behavior. Because a lot of people, like, I'll give you an example. Now, there's a WhatsApp group I belong to, and someone just sent a message to me now saying, help me inform the group that your wife is so, that I need money and all that. The number is the number I know, but wanting me to inform the group, that's why I'm giving you an example of what can happen to people. So how do cyber criminals exploit trust in digital platforms and human behavior? How do you think they do that?
Confidence level is so high. That's the phishing we are talking about. Like cyber threat actors, they don't just wake up and carry out these attacks. They make their own investigations. It's just like their job. That's what feeds them. That's what they do for fun. So most times they carry out reconnaissance, which is finding out information about the target.
Yeah.
So they don't just exploit emotions. They know what they are doing. Before they would want to phish a particular individual or carry out an attack on an organization, they know how the persons function, they know how the organization functions. So most activities they would carry out to be in line with the person's day-to-day activity in a way that you as a normal individual who does not have such knowledge would be fooled in a normal circumstance. Let me give you an instance. An organization I carried out an audit for, they pay their workers weekly. So most workers don't pay tax because it's an overseas company and they pay directly to their cheaper accounts.
Yeah.
They received an email from HR that the FIRS, a body in Nigeria, is now requesting for all users to pay tax. So they should reconfirm their user account.
Yeah.
And they should also reconfirm their bank account. And this is a company that has never carried out this type of large-scale change before. So they alerted my boss and was like, what is happening? We haven't been able to reach our UK branch. They don't just carry out a particular type of attack. It can be different. It can come in way of emotional attack. It can also come in different angles that you might not be aware of or be exposed to. So their goal was for these companies' workers or their remote workers to change their bank information so they could have access to one or two banking information. Because most times they carry out man-in-the-middle attack, which is them just sitting out in the middle, watching out what is happening in the network and observing each packet that pass through network. So phishing attack can come in different forms, not just in...
Of digital safety look like in this increasingly connected world?
We are now bringing AI into the space of cybersecurity or how to contain it a little. So the future is looking bright. We have been containing and writing more codes to mitigate these cyber threats. But cybersecurity threats, threat actors, they would not stop acting. So our own is to educate people on how to maneuver or contain this problem of